Small business in Dubai. How much money do you need to invest at the start and how much can you realistically earn in 2026? Today, I'll explain all the details and nuances in one video. My name is Anara Malakhova. I've been living in Dubai for 6 years with my daughter. I founded the company Global Tax Assistant here. We provide accounting services and help clients scale their businesses. Let's get started. Where do you start when opening a business? First of all, you need to decide where you will register your company. In Dubai, you can do this either in a free zone or on the mainland. Mainland is chosen by those companies that will actually conduct their business in Dubai with a physical location where clients will come. For example, these are restaurants, beauty salons, real estate agencies, shops, and any locations that have an actual office or space where clients come. Free zone companies are chosen by businesses that provide services both in the Emirates and worldwide. And most often, these are services such as IT, marketing, accounting, or legal support. That is, these are not tied to a specific location. There are quite a lot of different free zones in the Emirates: IFZA, DMCC, Meydan Free Trade Zone. And you can choose the zone that best suits your type of business or meets certain criteria. Different free zones vary in terms of their level of regulation. For example, in DMCC, you are required to use the WPS system when paying salaries and undergo a mandatory audit, whereas there is no such requirement in the IFZA free zone. Therefore, you can choose the free zone that best meets the needs of your business and then register your company there. Next, you need to determine the type of business activity. And unlike in other countries, in the Emirates, I do not recommend adding a large number of activities to your license because firstly, this incurs additional costs. That is, each additional type of activity will require a certain government fee depending on the free zone. And also, if you have too many activities listed on your license, the bank may refuse to open a bank account for you. For example, companies with the activity type general trading, which is general trade, so to speak, often have a harder time opening a bank account. After you have decided on the types of activities, you need to obtain a license and rent an office. Regarding the office, you can choose a physical office where you will be located in the future, or a flexi desk, which is a kind of virtual office, if you do not need a physical office. After the company is registered, you will need to obtain an Emirates ID and a visa. To get an Emirates ID, you need to undergo a medical test and provide your fingerprints. And after that, the next step is that you can open a bank account both for the company and for yourself as an individual. Often, opening a bank account can take more than a year, but you can contact our company. We guarantee to open a bank account within 1 month, and we also handle all accounting services. You can sign up for a free consultation with us using the link in the description of this video. Now let's break down how much money you need to invest at the start and what it should be spent on. Let's break down an average model for a small business using marketing or IT consulting as an example. In this case, the license will cost on average 20,000 dirhams, but the final price depends on the free zone you choose. A flexi desk or remote office rental for a year will cost 5,000 dirhams. An owner's visa will cost between 4,000 and 7,000 dirhams. There may also be additional expenses for opening a bank account and deposits. Sometimes when opening a bank account, a deposit of 10,000 to 50,000 dirhams is required. There may also be other expenses for accounting, marketing, or website development. On average, starting a small business will cost between 40,000 and 70,000 dirhams. If you are opening a restaurant, a shop, or another offline location, the expenses can be much higher, ranging from 300,000 to 1 million dirhams. Next, let's talk about what taxes exist in the Emirates. The Emirates is no longer a tax-free country, and there are two main taxes here. First and foremost, there is VAT, which is set at 5%. This rate is significantly lower than in many other countries. That is precisely why businesses often relocate to the Emirates. At the same time, VAT is only charged if you provide services or supply goods within the country. The second tax is the corporate tax, or profit tax. It is calculated on the difference between income and expenses at a rate of 9%. This is also quite a low rate. Moreover, in the Emirates, there are no taxes on salaries or dividends, which makes this country especially attractive. In the Emirates, unlike in some other countries, registering a company does not automatically mean registering it with the tax authorities. Also, if you have an alcohol license and, for example, you sell alcohol in a restaurant, you will need to pay an alcohol tax. This is called a municipal tax in the Emirates and is calculated at the rate of 7%. At the same time, this tax is calculated on the entire turnover, not just on the amount of alcohol sold. But when will all of this pay off? Of course, every case is unique, but if we're talking, for example, about service companies, they usually break even in 6 to 12 months on average. The restaurant business pays off in 18 months or 2 years, while e-commerce takes 12 to 18 months. But these are, of course, approximate guidelines, and everything depends on how much money was invested and what the business's financial model is. Now let's talk about when real profit will start coming in. And most often, companies that invested less at the start, mainly service businesses, can start generating income almost immediately. But if you have a business with large investments, for example, restaurants or stores, then real profit may come later, after 2 or 2.5 years. But of course, everything is calculated individually. And now, a very interesting question. What needs to be done to avoid shutting down after a year? In the Emirates, I often see situations where companies open and then, after a year or two, unable to withstand the competition or their financial model, end up closing or selling their business. And to prevent this from happening, the first thing you need to do is properly calculate your budget, taking into account all the expenses for starting the company as well as for marketing. You need to determine what your average check should be, how much you need to charge for your services or products so that they are profitable and generate the necessary income. Secondly, you need to take into account that the Emirates have strict banking compliance and opening a bank account can take quite a long time. To avoid this, I recommend opening bank accounts with professional companies that can fully support you throughout the process, such as ours, for example. It is also necessary to actively engage in marketing and client acquisition so that the flow of customers is predictable and you understand that, for example, if you want to increase your sales, you need to use certain marketing channels to achieve this. It is also necessary to choose the right pricing model because some entrepreneurs undercut prices when entering the market but do not realize that, for example, certain goods or services in this case are being sold at a loss, making the business model unprofitable. The UAE is a land of opportunity, but it is not about easy money. But if you enter with a clear strategy, enough capital for 6 to 9 months, and the right business model, your chances of success are high. Friends, thank you for liking the video. This helps us grow the channel. This was Malakhova Anara with you. Goodbye, everyone.